Hello everybody, David here, and this is the third gameplay video that we are releasing. I know you were waiting for it for a while now, but before we jump into gameplay, I would like to thank you all for your support. It is greatly appreciated. We got greenlit on Steam, so yay us, and this is great news because now we can focus all of our energy on game development. And personally, I think we have made great progress, and we have a lot of new features and content added since our last video that was released. And the purpose of today's video is to show you as much of that content as possible, as well as talk about the development progress and answer some of your questions. So let's talk about the title screen for just a moment. As you can see, there is a new background scene that shows a part of an abandoned city. I would like to direct your attention to the front of the scene here, where we have this destroyed room of what looks like an apartment building. Look at the amount of details that we are putting into the scenes. We really want the players to have a feel that they are exploring a post-apocalyptic world. We are trying to make an interior design as detailed as possible, so when players will scavenge an abandoned building, it will look like it was abandoned for years. If we'll take a look at the floor here, we can see that the tiles have fallen off the walls, and whatever furniture is left, it looks worn and broken. There's a section of the wall missing, and it will add a variety to the gameplay, as players will be free to choose how they roam the environment. What I mean, and this is just an example from the top of my head, there will be more than one way to enter the same building. Some players will choose to go head-on and risk the ground level main entrance with infected roaming the streets, while other players might look for an alternative way in. We are trying to get away from the on-rails concept as far as possible and give the players the freedom to choose how they want to play. And speaking of choices, we have a new menu available. It's called Survivors, and this is basically the character creation and management menu. I think we should start there. So on the left hand side we have character slots. There's only one slot available to us at the moment. Let's click on it. And here we have create leader button. So why does it say leader? There will be two types of characters, a leader type and a hero type. So what's the difference between them? A leader type of character, and only a leader, will have an additional skill tree that players can develop. This skill tree will influence the camp performance during the management phase. Basically, if the leader is present in a camp, he'll gain the leadership skill tree bonuses. So this is our new character. Currently we only have a few customization options implemented, but there will be much more to choose from later on. Let's give him a name. I'm going to use my name and choose one of the outfits we have available. And this is my personal favorite, because it's zombie apocalypse, who cares, right? So let's go with this one. And then let's choose a portrait. I'm going to choose the one on the left, and yes, in case you were wondering, that is my face on the portrait. Now I feel like I have to mention this. The interface that you see here is not what we intended to look like in the final release, or even in the early access release. This is just the plain functionality interface that we are using for development purposes. We have our designers working on some concepts that will be ready soon, and I will keep you guys posted on that one as well. So overall look of what we see here right now will change drastically, including the portraits and their background and other interface elements. So having said that, stats. We have 5 stat points to distribute, and we only have 3 stats. We have strength, we have endurance, and we have agility. Each of those will be responsible for a skill tree that will depend on it. So there's a lot more to it than just plain health and defense and power bonuses. There are actually deep skill trees that are governed by those stats. Let's spend the points and create our character. 3 and 3 agility, that looks fine to me. Let's click create, and there we go. We have a leader. Let's go back to the main menu. So now that we have a leader created, we can go back to our camp. It is actually the same camp we created in our last video, just slightly advanced. If you remember, we were talking about the medical area. Here it is. So it has been constructed, and the manage rations upgrade as well. But let's take a look at the new options available to us. That's called roster. We have our character listed here with some information beside his portrait, his name, the stats, experience, and his status says already, which means we can use this character for the real-time action missions. We also have the details, equip, and deploy buttons. The details will display a detailed information about the character, and equip button will let you manage their inventory. If the character is in the camp inventory becomes available. We are going to click on deploy, and now we have the sites menu open. So let's quickly talk about the sites, and I will give you a more detailed information once we will be exploring one of those. If you ever played any MMORPG, sites can be compared to dungeons. They are isolated from the open world map, and players can form groups and travel to those sites independently. Let's pick the first site from the list, meeting grounds. Excuse me. Now that it is selected, we get some additional information about the site. We see a brief description, a difficulty level, which in this case says that it is a safe location, and the loot information, which is none in this site. So the meeting ground site is designed for players to be able to call their friends to a safe location where they can trade items or show off their new weapons and outfits, or just hang out and form a group. The other sites on the list we will be visiting today, and we are going to start with one called Woodsfield. So this one. Now there's a story behind this site, and I will tell it to you when we get there. So right now the sites is the only option we have available. Later on, the free roam, which will be the open world map, and the locations tab will be available here as well. The locations tab will have the list of all the discovered locations that can be scavenged, and players will be able to travel and scavenge those locations in real-time action gameplay mode, which will be very useful when you don't have any population available in your camp and you want to gain a quick experience for one of your characters. Alright, let's grab our leader and travel to the Woodsfield. I'll see you there. And here we are. This is the little character that we created, and we spawned at the gas station just outside of town of Woodsfield. Here we go. Now, before we continue, I have to explain a few things about these sites we are visiting. These sites were basically our test sites. We created those sites to develop and test our assets, and it is still a work in progress. So if at times you will feel that it looks a little bit raw, it probably does. These sites will be completely rebuilt once we have everything tested and our assets have been properly adjusted. And for now, I want to show you the concept of the gameplay, features that we are working on, and there's still a lot of work to be done. So let me take you on a tour, and I'll promise you a story. So, sorry about that. The town of Woodsfield. I don't know if you guys noticed, but one of the screenshots that we have on Steam and on our website is where the character is standing in front of the highway sign, and it says Woodsfield 5 miles, if I'm not mistaken. So, what is Woodsfield, and where did this screenshot came from? This screenshot came from a level that we built when we initially started working on the real-time action gameplay, and we wanted to create a separate like a demo level that will be distributed, just to show you what we have created so far. But while we were making that level, we made a lot of progress in the character controller development. So that level never got released, but it's still there. If you take a look at the main menu, you still have that road demo option there. It's actually this level, and what I'm thinking is I'm going to leave that even in the final release and the early access, just to let you guys know where we initially started and where we are now. So we got a few infected over there, and I don't have any weapons, so I don't have anything actually. So let's see if we can sneak past those from around here. This is the very first site that we created. There are a lot of different assets here, and whoa, that's an infected. So let's be careful. I'm going to travel through this site and do my best to comment on everything we see. And here they all are. Let's try to make sure they don't see us. And here's a weapon, an iron bar. We already saw that in our previous videos. I think somebody made a suggestion to rename it to an to rename this weapon to a red bar. So let's take care of this guy first. And a kick. Alright, so these kicks are really useful. They give you just enough space to finish the infected off. Let's put it away. So right now it's it's running okay. It's running on 40 FPS. Oh, and this is the new asset pack that we acquired recently, the nature pack, and we decided to build this park here. I'm going to slowly walk through it to show you most of the details. So the camera is a bit jerky at times. Obviously this will be fixed, but other than that, I am pretty happy with the progress we made. And we have a few houses over there. All of those houses, you can enter those houses, and there will be loot inside, and a lot of details, the furniture and everything. And we have another infected, so let's take care of that one first. And a kick. There we go. And 1, 2, and another kick. So yeah, those kicks are very useful. Oh, he's still standing, and I missed that one. There we go. Okay, so here I would actually like to show you the concept that I was talking about. The freedom of gameplay and how players will be able to choose how they approach a certain problem. So right now we can see that this door has been barricaded from the other side, but if we go around here, and I know it's not really realistic that the fire escape is on the side of the building, but what the hell. So we can do this, and here we go. Going up, and like I said, the camera is still a bit jerky, but we are working on it. And here we are, the rooftop, and you can actually enter the building from the roof. So that was an example I was talking about. Alright, so let's take a look around. So right now we are looking at the office building and the entire town here, and we are actually this office building here is it looks like it's our strategic partners, Rangers. But anyway, what we see here is right now it's running at solid 30 FPS, and let me tell you that all of the details are maxed out at the moment. So 30 FPS is okay, but when I first saw that, I said I don't like it. I know we can do better, and we can do much better than that. And this is why I wanted to show you the second location. Like I said, the second site, I'm sorry. Like I said, this is the very first site that we created. There are just a bunch of assets with very little LOD, the level of detail balancing. So without any more talks, let me just show you the new site, the second site. So if we save and exit, I will see you in the main menu. And welcome back. So let's quickly visit the second location, second site. We will be visiting the crossing. The description says a small farming community based in the southern hillside of the outskirts city. So let's quickly travel over there, and I'll tell you a little bit about this location, this site. So first of all, let's take a look. We still have our iron bar that we picked up on the previous site. So the inventory is persisting. Everything's working. And you are probably wondering why the hell did I put this spawn point all the way up here while the site is all the way down there. And I'll tell you why. While it might not seem obvious, but this site actually has twice as more details as the previous one, and we are running it on 60 plus frame per second. So what's the difference between this site and the other one? And the difference is that this site was built with the same assets, but after we have processed those assets for LOD, or level of detail management, and the result is roughly 100% increase in FPS performance, and this is something I'm very happy with. Actually, the nature assets were not yet LOD processed, so there is even more room for improvement. Let me get to the gas station. It's the same gas station we saw on the previous site. Only this one has an interior model, and I want to show you that it's there. It's being LOD balanced. And then we're gonna take a look at those houses over there. So here we are at the gas station. This is an interior. So everything's rendered real time, and we have no FPS loss whatsoever. So that's very good. And let's take a look at this car. There's something inside. Oh, it's canned beans. We remember those from the previous videos, so let's grab it. Why not? Okay, let's take a stroll through the houses and talk about some of the features that will be implemented for the sites in general. The same site will be slightly different each time player will visit it. What does it mean? It means that every time a small change in the environment will happen. For example, if it's a city, some of the alleyways might be blocked that were open during the last visit. This feature will create a diversity in the gameplay. Players will have to look for an alternative routes and discover new places that were inaccessible during their last visit. So here we are. Let's take a look at those houses. And let's take a look at the amount of detail that we have here. So do you see all of those windows and the broken glass, and we have an interior rendered as well. And we are still running it on 60 plus frames per second. So let's climb that hill. There's something else I wanted to show you. And while we're at it, people ask me, what am I running this on? Is this some kind of a top-notch monster video card? And the answer is no. It's an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 580 that was purchased 5 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. It was top-notch back then, but it's considered slightly above average today. So no, this is not some sort of a crazy monster video card. This is a machine that was purchased 5 years ago. So what are we looking at here? Let's stand right here. So what are we looking at here? This is the Altcourt City. It's the next site that we are working on. We plan to include this site in the early access release, and it will be one of the major sites. It will have random events, missions, and encounters. There's a lot to it, and we will be covering some of those features in our next videos and on our developers blog on our game website. So that's it for now, guys. I think I covered most, if not all, of the things I wanted to share with you. I hope you liked it, and thank you for watching, and bye bye.